Let's see. Okay, according to YouTube, I'm live, I think. Am I? Yeah, apparently I'm live. Awesome. Check once more. Okay, according to YouTube, I'm live. Yep, I am. Wonderful. Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Doom Eternal on the RX 570, then on the 1050 Ti, and then on the 1650 Super. Tomorrow I'll be doing the 750 Ti as well. But I got early access to this game due to Bethesda. They gave me a review copy. I emailed them and they gave me a key, which is awesome. Thank you so much to ZeniMax and Bethesda for making this possible. So, okay, hang on, I cannot see any chats whatsoever. Gave me a key. And I'll lower the volume a little bit. So, yeah, okay. I'm going to show you now the options menu. So we have a VRAM counter at the top of the screen, as you can see. Hola, ¿cómo andan? ¿Todo bien? So we have a VRAM counter up there. We're using 4 gigabytes, basically. We're using here 1080p, no HDR because I don't have an HDR monitor. Ultra Nightmare on the performance metrics, which means all the information that you see at the right of the screen. And then here in the menu we have low, medium, high, ultra, nightmare, and ultra nightmare. So yeah, in this case I'm going to use high. Also, one thing very important for the textures, if you have 4 gigs of VRAM, use high. If you have more, well, you can use ultra or ultra nightmare. On the maximum settings you're using more than 6 gigs of VRAM. So let's keep that on high. Everything goes from low to ultra nightmare, and reflections go from disabled to ultra nightmare. And we also have something very interesting, a dynamic resolution option. We can put dynamic here, and you can select the target frame rate. The minimum is 60 and the maximum is a whopping 1000 FPS. So yeah, if you want to use dynamic resolution, there's a good one here. And okay, the depth of field options and all that good stuff. Let's disable chromatic aberration, and I'll keep motion blur on high, which is not very noticeable, it's very subtle. That's why I kept this on high instead of ultra nightmare. And that's about it. Let's start playing the game. This is 1080p high settings. Eso es 1080p alto en la 570. Después va la 1050 Ti y la 1650 Super. Aplicamos los cambios, we apply the settings. After this I'm going to show you the 1650 Super and the 1050 Ti. And I play on Hurt Me Plenty because I don't want to rage on stream. Let's just get through the game a little bit. How are you guys doing? Good to see you. Buenas noches. Good night. How are you doing, guys? So, okay, I'll try to skip as much as possible. Right now I cannot skip, so give me a few minutes. But yeah. Only me. Rip and tear. Till it is done. Okay, I can now skip the cutscene. Alright, we're actually into the game now. At the moment, we are way over 60 frames. No problems. I like that the game starts right away. But yeah, right now it's running okay on high settings. I already played this, so I'm acting surprised. But yeah, this part runs just fine. This is the tutorial. But yeah. We'll be changing settings in a little bit. Be patient. As long as you have 4 gigs of VRAM, you'll be okay. I have bad news for people with 2 gigs of VRAM. The game is unplayable with 2 gigs of VRAM, at least in my experience. You need at least 3 gigs of VRAM. So I say that again, you need 3 gigs of VRAM at the very least. On the lowest settings, you're at 2.7 gigabytes of usage, so It's very far away from 2 gigabytes, unfortunately, even at 360p resolution. I'm on the latest driver. This is the latest one. At least according to Bethesda, they sent me this driver from AMD. This is the beta driver. That is a game-ready driver for Doom Eternal. So yeah, on Friday, expect the game-ready driver to be a little better than this one. I don't expect a huge difference. So let's upgrade. Let's put the full auto mode. I love the full auto mode on the shotgun. Saludos, espero que estén todos bien. Cuídense mucho. Stay safe, guys. I hope you're doing fine on these hard times we are running through. Unfortunately, I cannot talk about it because, you know, YouTube is sensitive to some things. But we can talk about that in the comments if you want. Later. But yeah. Hay mucha diferencia entre la de 4 y la de 8 GB. Podrías poner las texturas al máximo en la de 8 GB, en 570 de 8. El rendimiento sería el mismo. I was saying in Spanish, someone asked me if the 574 GB had a big difference with the 8 GB version. Well, the difference there is the VRAM amount, obviously. And the thing with that, in this game, for example, you will be able to put textures on the maximum, which in this game will be like 6.7 gigs of usage. But the performance should be exactly the same. It's the same GPU. You just have more video memory to put textures, so yeah, basically performance will be the same. You can put better textures and the game won't stutter in that case. Whoa. No ammo, so let's cut through it and get some ammo from this guy. Wonderful. But yeah, so far the game is running good on this combination, so with a very cheap graphics card you can play this game just fine. This is high settings, by the way, it's not the maximum. On the maximum it's probably going to drop below 60. And we're going to try that later on. Be patient. And on the CPU side, surprisingly a quad-core CPU, as long as it's an 8100, a 9100F, a 2200G, something like that, you should be able to get 60 frames if the GPU is enough. So don't worry on the CPU side. It's GPU bound. The game is super GPU bound. So don't worry. RAM usage. I don't have the RAM usage on this overlay because the game doesn't have it for some reason. But I tested that today and it was between 6 and 7 gigabytes of system RAM usage. So with 8 gigabytes on dual channel, it should be okay. I wouldn't worry too much about it. But yeah, the problem here is more on the VRAM side of things. You need to have at least 3 gigabytes to be able to play the game. So yeah, keep that in mind. If you have less than 3 gigs of VRAM, well, the game is not going to be playable. At least in my experience. I tried it today with a 2 gig card and it was a disaster. Which is unfortunate, but it's in the requirement, so I cannot really complain. Okay, beautiful. But yeah, I cannot really complain at the moment. The game is running just fine, even when I get very close to the special effects, such as smoke, fire. Let's see the explosions. Yeah, the explosions are okay as well. We drop into the mid-70s. I will still have some room to spare. Wonderful. I'll be swapping settings in a little bit. Be patient, guys. Okay, weak points. Yeah, gotcha. Oh yeah, I mean, the game is very fluid at the moment. Let's try, just to have some fun into it, let's try the maximum settings. Why not? Okay, as you can see, the VRAM is too high, the usage, so we're going to lower textures to high. We're still over the VRAM limit, so we'll lower shadows to high. And we're still at the 4 gigabyte mark, so we apply the changes. And on the status, this is max, high, text, and shadows. I hope that fits. It doesn't. Okay. So yeah, I increased everything to the maximum, except in textures and shadows. So let's see what happens. Let's see if we're still over 60. Alright, we're into the 70s, but I don't see much of a graphical difference. Honestly, it's hard to tell for me. And I tried restarting the game before, and it didn't make a huge difference. I mean, the first 5 seconds it was different, but then it went to the same performance. So yeah, right now even at the maximum settings, we're over 60. It's probably going to be worse in a little bit, so temper your expectations. I think we dropped like 10 frames per second or 15. We'll see. But yeah, right now looking good. Alright, let's keep it going. But yeah, right now it's running fine. Oh nice, a rifle. A heavy cannon, never mind. Looking good. But yeah, not many complaints at the moment. To be expected, a Vulkan AMD card. Here's the map. Okay. But I like the shotgun. Come on. Alright. Okay, now we're dropping below 60 frames, so never mind about what I said. Let me see if I can fix this by going to high settings once I get this guy. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, standing here looking into the distance, I'm below 60, but just a couple frames, no big deal. Let's see if lowering everything to high helps out. So I lowered from the maximum to high. Let me change this to high. Okay, we're back to high. Let's see if it works. Okay, yeah, now we're into the mid 60s, low 70s. So yeah, definitely high settings seems to be the way to go. As you could see on maximum, I'll show you again. We are now on high settings. If you go from high to ultra night map, but lowering some stuff to high, like shadows and textures, yeah, you're into the upper 50s, low 60s. But then if you go back down to high settings from the maximum, you're into the upper 60s, low 70s. So yeah, definitely the best settings for the 570 should be high at the moment. Yeah, it was too good to be true to have ultra settings and like 80 frames per second, but hey, I don't see a huge visual difference. The game still looks great. So yeah, I'll start reading comments in a second. This thing is kicking my ass. Never mind. Gotcha. But yeah, and the music is amazing, like on the first game. But yeah, make sure if you have this card to use high settings. If you have a 580, 590, something like that, I'd expect like 10 frames per second more than this. So on a 580 or 590, consider ultra settings, ultra nightmare maybe, if you want 60 frames. But yeah, with the results, well, these results on the 570, I'm pretty convinced that on the 580 will be like 10 frames more. Okay, no more shotgun shells. I need to get more. Boom. I think I got him. Yep. Alright. Great. I'll go back to the place where I got below 60 on Ultra. Let me test one thing very quickly. But yeah, I mean, the game runs amazing at the moment. Let's see, so this was the spot. Looking into the distance. Low 70s. On Ultra settings it was like low 60s. Let's see how low settings goes with high textures. So we're going to change the status to low. Let's see the maximum frame rate we can get. Yeah, let's apply the settings, and we're getting, okay, from 70 to 90. So on ultra settings, almost ultra settings, we're at 58, 60 frames. On high settings, we're at 70, and on low settings, we're on 90. So yeah, there's a stark difference between the presets, as you can see. But I mean, the visuals are still good. The game looks flatter, basically. You can also, I forgot, you can also turn off reflections and ambient occlusion. So let me turn those off. Okay, a few extra frames. So yeah, definitely by lowering the settings to the minimum, you get a massive performance boost. Who would have thought? So yeah, on low settings, you're not past 100 frames, but you are way over 60. Let's try 1440p. But I'm going to lower some things. Textures will be on medium. Let's put everything on medium for 1440p. And then I'll probably go back to 1080 to continue playing the game. But yeah, I'll try 1440p on medium settings. As you can see all around here, everything is on medium. And we're at the 1440p resolution. Alright, we're now at 1440p, I think. Let me see. Yep. Okay, so at 1440p medium, we're getting 50 frames. I probably have to restart the game when I change the resolution. Yeah, let's do that. Let's keep it on medium. I'll go to desktop and jump right back in. Sorry about that, guys. It's an SSD, so it should be super quick to jump back in. So don't worry. I won't take long. No, no llega a 144 FPS. It doesn't get to 144 FPS, unfortunately, but I'm going to give it a try later at 720p or 900p. But yeah, on 1080p low settings, we are not past 100 frames per second. We're at 90, 95 on the worst case. The worst case, what I played at the moment. But yeah, 1660 Ti. I no longer have a 1660 Ti, but I mean, you can pretty much max it out on that one. So yeah, how are you able to play the game? I got a review copy from Bethesda, so I was able to play the game early. It will be available on Friday to everyone. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty surprised on how good it looks on medium to low settings. It's pretty surprising. Okay, so let me see where the game saved my progress, but because I don't know. Okay. Oh, okay, before the big fight. Awesome. Okay, so this part that I'm testing at the moment is the same part I just finished, so I can test it out. This is 1440p medium preset, and we're looking into the distance here. We're getting, okay, restarting the game in this case helped when changing the resolution. We're getting high 50s, low 50s to low 60s, basically. So yeah, as you can see, when looking into the distance, 50 to 60 frames per second at 1440p medium settings, so that's great. I had to lower the what's the name of this? I had to lower the textures to medium as well because we don't have enough VRAM for that. So if you have an 8GB 570, for example, you can be maxing out textures just fine. So yeah, basically running fine at the moment. I might even try 4K if I'm crazy enough. But yeah, I mean, this is completely fine. I should probably even try dynamic resolution on this one. I mean, it's not a big diff. Okay, it dropped into the 40s there. Let me try dynamic resolution after I'm done with that one, because I'm very distracted. Alright. See ya. Okay, so I was right here. I'll put now the dynamic resolution. So you can choose dynamic resolution between 60 and 1000 frames per second. We're just going to target 60. We are not really that demanding on the frame rate side. So you might not be able to see it, but at the right of the screen you can see in real time how the resolution is being lowered. At the moment, while looking over there, we're at 90%, 80 to 90% 1440p. So yeah, with dynamic resolution you should be able to stay at 60 even if you see effects very close to the camera. So you're never getting those big differences in frame rate, going from, I don't know, 45 to 75. You stay at 60 to 70 and the game just changes the resolution so the GPU can keep up. So yeah, I mean, as long as we don't drop below 50% resolution scale, the game will be okay. Each time I do a glory kill, you're probably not able to see it. The resolution scale drops like 20%. That's because there are some effects on screen, probably. That's when the game without the dynamic resolution was dropping to the mid-40s. So it was at around 45 FPS when I was doing glory kills. Now it doesn't happen. It stays at 60 but drops the resolution. So yeah, you can even do 1440p-ish on this card on medium settings and the game still looks good, at least in my opinion. So yeah. Oh, sorry, I forgot about you. Bye bye. Low settings 1440p, I don't think it will make a big difference. I might try it later on. But on 1440p low settings it's probably going to be at 60 again, but with slightly lower graphics. So yeah, I'll play a little bit more like this and I will change it. But yeah, I mean, with dynamic resolution you don't have to do much at all. Alright, gotcha. Gotcha, mister. I need some ammunition, thank you very much. Alright, bye-bye. But yeah, 1440p is okay, as long as you have the expectations set correctly. You can do 1440p low settings 60 probably, but you can do 1440p medium with dynamic resolution, targeting 60 frames. So yeah. Please don't kill me. Thank you very much, sir. Read the chat. Yeah, it's difficult to pay attention and read the chat. I mean, come do it yourself. It's pretty difficult, man. Give me a few seconds. I'm focused. The thing is that when I read chat, I end up dying instantly. So be patient with me. ¿A qué equivale ese i3? Y un i5 de séptima generación, un i5 de sexta generación, cosas de ese estilo. Incluso los Ryzen 5 deberían estar cerca. Bueno, el Ryzen 5 1600 debería estar un poco por encima de este juego. O sea, mientras tengas 4 núcleos de sexta generación en adelante, debería ser parecido a lo que ves acá. I was saying in Spanish that if you have a Ryzen 5 1600, 2600, I don't know, an i5 6400 or a 7400, I'll expect the same numbers as this, basically. We are GPU bound. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about the CPU. VRAM usage is basically at 4 gigabytes at the moment. I cannot show it to you because it's not included here. But I mean, in the options menu you can see it very easily. It's basically at 4 gigabytes. Let me show you. If you look at it up here, we're at 3.7 gigabytes, basically, a little less, 3.67 maybe. So yeah, as long as it's below the maximum, the game will let you know. If you go over the VRAM usage, you'll be okay. Okay, now I have a sniper rifle, basically. Okay, grenade launcher, beautiful. No, it's not Ultra Nightmare. This is on Hurt Me Plenty. I wanted to be able to get through the game. Okay, now I can launch grenades from my shoulder. Awesome. Yeah, I might try the highest difficulty after I'm done with the testing. But yeah, it's not an easy game when you crank it up. But yeah, I'm now going to try another resolution. This is getting a little bit repetitive. Just for the lulz, I'm going to try... hang on. Gotcha. Just for the lulz, I'm going to try 4K, because why not? So I'm selecting 4K, and I'm going to use low settings this time around without dynamic resolution. So we're going to put everything on low at 4K. Let's see if we can be over 30. Let's be hopeful for a few seconds. We apply the changes. And I'm going to change the stages to 4K low. Gotcha. You can probably see the frame rate there. This is the options menu. So yeah, 4K, low settings. Okay, 35 FPS. Okay, no big deal. Most people are not going to use this, but that's okay. Most people are not going to play this at 30 frames per second. Even on the consoles, it's targeting 60. But yeah, we're getting over 30 frames. Okay, got a headshot at 30 frames per second. Awesome. But yeah, so far, if you want to play at 4K for some reason, you can do so at low settings over 30 frames. Not quite 60. But at least, I don't know if for some reason you can do that. It's possible. So yeah, I'm now going to try... yeah, let's put 1080p high settings for a little bit, and I'll keep playing the game a few more minutes. Then I will swap to the 1050 Ti, probably. We are 30 minutes in, yeah. I need to swap cards eventually. If not, it's not going to end anytime soon. So yeah, let's better do 720p on low settings with high textures. Sorry about that. Yeah, 720p with low settings but high textures. Let's see if we can get 144, because why not? On the status, it will be 720p low. Let's see if 144 is even possible on this GPU. I'll change that. In the menu is 300 FPS. In the game, probably not quite. So yeah, let's do it. Okay. 720p low settings, we are not hitting 144. We're probably, yeah, we're CPU bound, targeting 144. So yeah, you should be able to do 144 with this card at 720p low, but you need a better CPU. This CPU won't cut it for 144. So yeah, possible, but not quite on this CPU. The 570 can do it, the i3 cannot. The i3 is for 60 frames per second. Let's get that clear. Alright. Okay. So yeah, you got the response. The response. You can do 1080p. You can do at 60. You can do 1440p at 62. You can do 4K low at 30 frames, and you can do 720p 144 on low settings if you have a faster CPU than a quad-core i3, basically. I'll kill this and I'll swap GPUs because yeah, it's going to take a little bit. After this one, I'm putting the 1050 Ti in, so I apologize in advance to people that want to see a 1650 Super first. I need to show you the worst case scenario beforehand. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to swap now to the 1050 Ti, guys. Be patient. I'm going to put this card in. You probably cannot see it. So yeah, it was fun, but let's now swap GPUs. Okay, I'll first destroy the drivers so I can install the NVIDIA drivers. But yeah, so either way, okay, delete the AMD drivers. But yeah, okay. And I cannot see the chat. Oh, there you are. Did he try the 1060 yet? No, not yet. I'm going to try it. I'm not going to try it. I don't have it anymore. This is what happens sometimes with the AMD drivers. They just artifact when I'm deleting them for some reason. Just be patient. I hate when that happens, but hey, I cannot fix it. Okay, 1650 Super after this. And what else? Oh, this 1050 Ti, so you know what's going on. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't want to get anybody blind, but sometimes it happens. Anyways, so here I am. Hello, sorry about the wall, it's in bad shape. So we just saw the 570, the dual fan one. Let's put it here. And let's now put the 1050 Ti, the single fan card, no 6-pin connector. I'm expecting this one to do a lot worse. You know how it goes on Vulkan games. The 570 just doubles the performance and the 1050 Ti doesn't like it. But hey, it is what it is. I have to now install the drivers, so give me 1 second. That's what happens when you swap GPUs. You need to delete the drivers of the GPU that was in, then install the drivers of the new one. Give me a couple minutes, it won't take long. Hola Santiago. Hola Germán, ¿cómo estás? ¿Todo bien? En Argentina cuánto sale una 570 y yo supongo que alrededor deben rondar por los $200. En Uruguay ahora está en ese precio. The One S ranges between 900p and 720p at 60 frames. Maybe with a 1030 you might get away with 720. Well, with 2 gigs of VRAM it's very hard. I mean, I tried it with 2 gigs of VRAM on the 750 Ti a few minutes ago. It was a disaster. I mean, it was unplayable. There wasn't enough VRAM for the game to play. When you don't have enough VRAM on Vulkan, it's not like on DirectX 11, where you can compensate that with some system RAM. The game just outright slows down, and sometimes it even crashes, like Detroit Become Human. So yeah, on 2 gigs of VRAM, unfortunately, at least right now, the game is not playable. So sorry about that. It is what it is. If it changes, of course, I'll make a video and tell you, hey guys, it's working on 2 gigs of VRAM now. But that's not the case at the moment. Will NVIDIA fix the problem with Vulkan in updated driver? What problem with Vulkan? I mean, the NVIDIA cards that have a hardware support for that, for many of the things AMD already had, are the 16 series cards and the 20 series cards. So the 1060, 1050 Ti, those cards will suffer more in this game in comparison to the, for example, 1650 Super, the 2060, the AMD cards such as the 570, 580. That's usually what happens. It happens also on Red Dead 2. So yeah, okay. I'm now installing the drivers, as you can see. So yeah, give me a few more minutes. It's installing. Will it work with 3 gigs of VRAM? Yes, 3 gigabytes of VRAM is the absolute minimum. So yeah, 1080p. I'm going to start with low settings on. Now let's try it with high settings on the 1050 Ti. Okay, the installer is finished. Wonderful. Let me connect to the internet, and I'll be right back into the game. I'm logging into the Steam account. Try ultra textures, put on 4 gigabytes, see what happens. The game will just slow down. I mean, sorry, it won't slow down. The game will outright tell you, hey, you don't have enough VRAM for that. You cannot change the settings. So you have to lower the textures again. So yeah, my advice, just respect what the options menu tells you. It is what it is. But yeah, okay. We're now getting into the game. I'm going to try on high settings, like on the 570. The 570 on high settings was way over 60. We didn't have any problems. On the problematic area, it was around 60 to 70 on high settings. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm expecting this one to need 900p medium, 1080p low to get 60. We'll see. But yeah. Okay. Wish me luck. Here we go. So we select now 1080p. We apply it. All right. We select high settings. So everything on high. No chromatic aberration, thanks. We enable depth of field. So, okay, even in the menu we're at 55 FPS. This does not look good for the 1050 Ti. So we'll see how it goes. I got the game early because I got a review copy. So thankfully that allowed me to play the game early. So yeah, as you can see, 1080p high settings. Let's jump right into the game. And let's see, 1080p high settings, 1050 Ti. Okay, 50 FPS. This is not the most demanding area though. I should test it in a more demanding place. But hey, at the moment, it is what it is. I don't have any fuel. I don't have anything to get more ammo. Oh, never mind. I don't need it. Let's get a grenade in there. Come on. Perfect. Gotcha. But yes, you can see on high settings we're already dropping below 50 FPS. So yeah, nowhere close what the 570 was doing, as expected. It is what it is. And I ran out of ammo. Wonderful. Let's see. Hope probably in a more open area is going to suffer more. So yeah, I'm not holding my breath. Alright. Oh, hello. Yeah, I mean, it's dropping into the mid-40s when I'm doing a glory kill. I want that armor. Oh, no. Well, I don't want it that much anymore. I'll try it one more time. Wish me luck. We go back there. We jump. No, I'm not going there. Okay. At least I tried. Again. Oh man. How embarrassing. I think I need to go up there. Do I? Oh, never mind. Okay, got it. I got an IGN moment there, sorry. Alright. Yeah, I'm now in a more constricted environment. I don't think... Whoa, what the hell? I don't think this is representative. I think I'll restart the mission. It will be fair for the other card. So, be patient. Yeah, that was nowhere close what the open area was doing. So yeah, I need to be fair with the comparisons. It won't take long, I promise. I'll speed run through. Yeah, rip and tear until it is done. Okay. Yeah, I mean, even in this area where the 570 was into the 80s, here we're into the 50s. So I need to get to that open location. Yeah, the 1063 gigs should be okay. Just make completely sure that you lower the texture quality. Because with 3 gigs of VRAM, you'll need that texture lowered. I promise. Yeah. Gotcha. You too. Let's go back. Speed run. Yeah, I know, thanks. Oh yeah, I need to need this. I want a full auto shotgun. Come on. What type of CPU are you testing this on? This is an i3-9100F, a quad-core CPU. With 4 cores, this is doing fine at 60 frames. If you want more than 60 frames, you need a better CPU. Whoa, that explosion drops us into the 30s. Not looking good. Okay, I can already tell you with more enemies on screen, we are into the upper 30s, low 40s. So yeah, I need to lower the settings here. This is much slower. Let me try, let's try low settings with high textures. And yeah, let's keep it like that. Let's see what happens. Low right now. Yeah, I knew something was up. Okay. We're still dropping into the mid 40s, but we're not into the upper 30s anymore when shooting the enemy. Beautiful. But yeah, I mean, the past area after the open location I tested is significantly faster for some reason, probably because the area is smaller. So yeah, I need to test the beginning of the game, apparently. But I mean, I was expecting a little bit more than this. But at least now we are into the low 50s, upper 40s, instead of upper 40s, upper 30s, low 40s. I might even try dynamic resolution. But yeah, come on, say yeah. Thank you, I need some ammunition. Anybody else? Sí, hablo español, pero en los streams hablo en inglés y en los videos también. Sorry. Play with an RTX 2080? What? No, I don't have one. The fastest card I have right now is a 1650 Super, so joke's on you. Alright. Okay, we're back into the open area. And as you can see, that's what I was looking for. We are getting 40 FPS on low settings. We just looking here, nothing happening. Just looking into the distance. So yeah, you're probably going to need dynamic resolution if you want 1080p. Let me disable reflections and ambient occlusion. Okay, it didn't change that much, a couple frames. But yeah, I mean, looking into the distance, this happens. Probably 900p makes more sense in this card. Okay, let's get some sticky bombs. Thank you very much. Yeah, restart the game. I already restarted the game, but it only changes when I change the resolution. I'll restart the game just to please you, because I'm an idiot. Nah, I'm kidding. I'll restart the game, but I mean, it won't change because the resolution is the same. It only helps when you're changing resolution. If I change to 900p, for example, or 720p, there it would make a difference. We'll get like a 10 FPS boost, because for some reason, the game when you change the resolution doesn't like it. But when I just change the settings from, for example, high to low, it won't change at all. It will be the same. It seems to be just a thing when you change resolutions. Probably a day one thing. But a lot harder to run than Doom 2016. Yeah, well, it makes sense. The game looks significantly better. Significantly better. So yeah, I mean, it's also a Vulkan exclusive. The other game was OpenGL as well, that helped on the 1050 Ti. In this case, we only have Vulkan, so the 1050 Ti won't be happy. Let's see. Let's do the same. Okay, you got me. We're now into the 50s instead into the mid 40s, so we get 6 FPS more. Still, okay, never mind. We dropped into the upper 40s. So it didn't change that much. We got like 4 FPS when we're still. Bueno, muchas gracias Ángel Strato Fan por los 20 pesos mexicanos. Muchísimas gracias. Espero que estés pasando bien. Un abrazo desde Uruguay también. Muchísimas gracias. I was saying Spanish thanks to Ángel Strato Fan for the 20 Mexican pesos donation. Alright. Okay. Let's see if we can stay above 50 at the very least. I made a mistake. Oh, I think I can skip this part. back into the bad area. Let's see. Yeah, I can. I need to kill this thing. But yeah, as you could see, when I restarted the game, I wasn't expecting a big change because it didn't change resolution, but it did. We got like 3 or 4 FPS more. So yeah, it wasn't the 10 FPS difference of the 570 when restarting the game, but it was a small improvement so far. But still, I was expecting a little bit more than this. Anyways. Gotcha. No sabe más CPU, GPU, GPU. Es puro GPU. A menos que vayas a 144 FPS. I was saying in Spanish that the game is basically GPU bound unless you want to go over 60 to, I don't know, 144 FPS, for example. If you want 144, you'll need a faster CPU and a faster GPU than this, of course. Okay, we got the heavy cannon. Okay, this is the bad area. Brace yourselves. Let's see if we can stay over 50 by looking into the distance in this area. Okay. We're dropping below 60. But this is low settings, so if you're debating between the 570 and this one, the 570 was doing this on what settings? I think it was on Ultra Nightmare. So the 570 on the maximum settings was getting these numbers. So if you want 60 frames, in this case I'll do 1080p low settings, dynamic resolution, targeting 60. But yeah, definitely doable if you want 1080p 60 on this card. The problem is when effects are close to the camera or you're looking into the distance. You'll see that when I fight some of these enemies. When the smoke is very close to my face, basically, there, it'll drop below 60. So yeah, the more things are happening with the effects, the worse it will drop. As you can see there, I'm dropping below 60 just by shooting at this thing. Sorry, I don't know the names of the enemies, I know. Sorry to disappoint you. But still, it's completely playable, if you ask me. Let's try dynamic resolution. We put dynamic, and the target frame rate will be 60. So we can get rid of those drops into the low 50s, upper 40s. That happens sometimes when there are effects close to the camera, or when you're looking into the distance, for example. So I'm probably going to die now. Awesome, just what I wanted. But as you can see here, we're now, even when shooting the enemy, into the 60s. And the resolution is dropping between 50 and 70%. Mid-80s sometimes, as you can see at the right of the screen. So yeah, it's not 1080p, but it still looks sharp enough, at least in my opinion. And when effects show up close to the camera, you're not getting those big drops. So yeah. Awesome. So yeah, if you want 60s on this one, my main recommendation is 1080p, low settings, and dynamic resolution at 60 frames. And that's about it. I'll have to remember to restart the game after changing resolutions. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's playable. Let's try 900p. Remember, I have to restart the game, so these are the first ones. So I'll put this, show how it runs, and restart the game. This will be without dynamic resolution, yeah. On the low preset, high textures, and I'm going to change the status to 900p low. Alright. So on 900p low without dynamic resolution, we're on 75 FPS. So you can probably do medium settings on this. Let's do medium, high textures. Okay, 65, not bad. Okay, not bad. Let's now restart the game just to be sure. I don't want to disappoint any of you anymore. I already disappointed myself. No, conseguí una copia para review, por eso lo estoy jugando antes. Sale el viernes. As I was saying in Spanish, sorry, someone asked me how I got access to the game. I got a review copy from Bethesda and Cinemax, thanks to them, so I can play the game a little bit earlier. So yeah, if you want to play this game, it will be available on Friday. The release times are on the internet, just look for it on Google, put Doom Eternal release time, and it'll say at which time it releases. It'll release at the same time to every country, so it shouldn't take long. Okay, so as you can remember, I was on 900p medium settings. So let's jump right into it. The file size was 38 gigabytes. Yeah, it's not a big game. It's like you have to download 30 something gigabytes, basically. Okay, in the same part we were at the moment. Gotcha. Okay, now looking over there. Okay, again over 60, so if you want 60s on 900p, try medium to low settings. When some effects show up, it will drop below 60. But again, you can remedy this by using dynamic resolution. So my advice for 900p at the moment is to use dynamic resolution, medium settings. So when you're fighting to many enemies at once or there are explosions, you don't drop below 60 very often. That's what I'm trying to say. And if you don't want to use dynamic resolution for some reason, use low settings and you'll be okay. Gracias Joaquín por los 20 pesos argentinos. Se agradece muchísimo la donación. How does it look on low settings? Does it look good? Me pregunta si se ve bien en ajustes bajos. Ahora les muestro ajustes bajos. Se ve bien, sí. I was saying in Spanish that someone that donated asked me if it looked good on low settings. Surprisingly it does. Does look very good on low. I mean, this is medium and it's already looking pretty good. I'll show you low after I swap to dynamic resolution, so you avoid those micro drops below 60 when looking into distance. But yeah, let's just put low settings. I already explained the dynamic resolution before. So just to please you, the donator 900p low. As you can see, low settings, 900p. We're now over 60 instead of into the upper 50s. So you can either, I mean, the game still looks good. You still have shadows, you still have good effects on screen, you still have explosions. The explosion is not as big, I think. The smoke is a little bit worse. But I mean, when you're just blasting through all these enemies, you're not paying attention to that, let's be honest. So yeah, I mean, even on low settings, at least for what I'm seeing here, the game looks good. There's less reflections, there's lower quality ambient occlusion. But yeah, that's about it. You're not losing much, the game is still the same. Yeah, I can see here the reflections are not screen space reflections, they are cube maps. But still you got something to look at the very least, on low settings. But I mean, the 3D models are good, the animations are still brutal. I mean, you're not losing much. And you're getting 60 frames, so yeah. Let me swap to 720. Let me see if I can do 720p high. I want to make sure. We're going to put 720p high settings now. Let's see how it goes. Of course, I'm going to restart the game eventually. But I want to see if it's even possible to do high settings, 60 frames. So yeah, we're now at 720p high settings, as you can see on screen. Okay, we're over 60, looking into this demanding place. Demanding for what I tested so far. So yeah. I'll restart the game eventually. But I want to get this guy. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, there are no enemies now. It doesn't make much sense to not restart the game. Sorry about this, guys. Every time I change the resolution, I need to restart it. I know it takes time, but it's worth it. I want accurate numbers. But yeah. How much FPS on a i5-9400F and a 1060 6GB? I'm going to assume that probably ultra settings 60 frames. I'm not sure how the game runs on the 1060 because it's an older architecture than a 1650 Super. But yeah, I mean, 1080p high should be over 60 just fine. Ultra settings are probably going to drop below 60, but I mean, high settings still looks good. So yeah, at the moment, what I can say is high settings 1080p 60 frames is what I think will happen on a 1060. You can also crank up the textures slightly higher. Instead of using high textures, you can probably use Nightmare textures, not Ultra Nightmare, just Nightmare or Ultra, and that'll be okay on the 60 GB. Okay, here we go again. And now we're looking over there, we're getting, okay, mid 60s. We're still dropping below 60 when I'm shooting enemies, so again, dynamic resolution, and you'll be okay. Yeah, I know, I'm saying dynamic resolution on 720p, but that's if you don't want to lower the settings. Probably medium makes more sense. But I mean, we're over 60 a big amount of time, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'm about to die. Great. Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad. It's great, actually. Yeah, I think high settings make a lot of sense on 720p. I wouldn't go higher than this. Sometimes, like right now, you can drop into the upper 50s. Again, as long as it's over 50, I'm okay with it. But if that bothers you at all, enable dynamic resolution and be happy, or lower it to medium settings. Oh yeah, to sum up the 1050 Ti performance, you can do 1080p low with dynamic resolution, and you're getting 50 to 60 FPS. Then you can do 900p medium with some drops into the upper 50s, and if you don't care about resolution, use dynamic resolution, you have 60 all the time. Or do 720p high with some drops into the upper 50s, or enable dynamic resolution, and you'll be okay. That seems to be the sentiment at the moment. And remember, we're getting game ready drivers on Friday, apparently, so it's probably going to improve a little bit. This is just 2 days before it releases, so things can change a little bit. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, lowering textures in this case doesn't make much sense. We're not VRAM limited. So yeah, okay. I've seen enough of this card. Let's jump to the 1650 Super. We've been an hour, so I'm doing 30 minutes per card. Fantastic timing. Let's swap to the 1650 Super now. And I won't take long. This is the card I'm going to put now into the PC. Intentaré upgradear la gráfica. Un 3700X y meter la plaga que quieres. Cualquiera te va a andar bien. Okay, so I'm swapping GPUs now. This is the 1050 Ti I was using. If you overclock it, you can get a few extra frames. Now I'm going to put the 1650 Super, the cheapest one. 1 second, it has a 6-pin connector, if you don't know. So it requires that small cable from the power supply. Okay. Almost there. Awesome. The PC is now turned on. So hot. Okay, to be honest though, I bought a 1650 Super over at 580 because I plan to run this setup on the long run, the TDP plus the thermal hotness. Oh, okay, makes sense. I understand. This blue wall, well, is humidity. I need to just destroy this wall and build a new one. It's just, yeah, don't worry. It will be back soon in its original color. But yeah, that's what time does to the wall, unfortunately. Anyways, I'll jump back into the game now. NVIDIA drivers were faster to install, basically. And then the specs. Oh, I'm going to have to change the specs. Jesus. Rewind for 1050 Ti and 570. So if you want to see the... Oh, there I am again. Hi. As I was saying, if you want to see the 570 or the 1050 Ti, just rewind the live stream. I first did the 570, then the 1050 Ti 30 minutes later. Okay, and this is the 1650 Super. Awesome. Oh, this is not muted. Jesus. Okay. Now I'm going to go into the menu and change this to 1080p. Of course, that's what we want. Let's start with ultra settings, high shadows. Just let's see what happens. For some reason we have 200 megabytes more than the 570, but both are 4 gig cards. Not sure what's up with that. The 570 didn't allow me to select ultra nightmare shadows with high textures. I don't know what's up. Whatever. And this is 1080p max settings. Max high textures. So yeah, I have to lower textures to high because if not, as you can see here, I go over the VRAM limit. So nobody wants that. We're keeping it on high here. Everything maxed out. No chromatic aberration. Thank you very much. And 1080p resolution. Beautiful. So we apply the changes and we jump back into the game on the same place we tested a moment ago. Can you test 750 Ti in Doom Eternal? I tried it just to see what happened a few moments ago. It was 2 gigabytes of VRAM. The game didn't like that. The game was below 30 frames all the time. In a couple hours I'll upload a video showing you that. Okay, so on the maximum settings I'm getting over 100 FPS at the moment. We'll see once we get to the demanding place. But yeah, okay. Here we go. Here the 570 was dropping below 60. Oh, okay. Over 60. Not very far from the 570, but again, a little faster. Oh, I didn't restart the game after changing the settings. So yeah, it's probably going to be a little higher. Who knows? I don't think I need to restart the game now, but hey, it's probably going to make a difference. Yeah, I'm going to restart the game in a second. Be patient with me. Oh yeah, we still didn't drop below 60. We're very close to the... we're in the low 60s. But this is the maximum settings, so I'm not complaining. Even with effects on screen, it drops a little bit into the upper 50s. Okay. Oh, hello. Oh yeah, I was expecting high settings, not ultra, to be honest. Now we're dropping into the mid 50s, so yeah, probably I need to lower this to high or restart the game. That'll be smarter for my part. But I'm getting a little bit lazy. I restarted the game like 5 times already. It's getting annoying. But yeah, I need to do it. Why am I such a correct person? Oh man. Okay, if this doesn't change, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the game is running better. That's true, James. The game is running better than what the requirements than the requirements say. I mean, a common 1650 non-super was like minimum requirements for low settings 60 frames, but a 1650 super is doing 1080p ultra with 60-ish FPS. Kind of weird. The recommended settings were for those numbers. Sabes que la 750 Ti no, es injugable en esa tarjeta, por lo menos por lo que probé hasta ahora. Está debajo de... porque no le da la memoria de video. As I was saying in Spanish, sorry, I tend to forget that I speak two languages. I tried the 750 Ti very briefly on my own, and it was unplayable. It was below 30 frames all the time because the VRAM was getting maxed out. The VRAM usage was like 2.7 gigabytes according to the game, and it was maxing out the 2 gigabytes, of course. So it was basically unplayable. Even at 360p, I tried that. It was bad. Okay, yeah, I had to restart the game. As you can see, instead of mid-60s, I'm on the low 70s, so 5 FPS more. Remember to restart the game when you change the resolution, in this case. Let's see if we drop below 60 now. When I'm attacking this thing. Sorry, I don't know the name. I failed you, Doom. Sorry. Let's see. Okay. I'm about to die. Don't kill me. Not yet. Okay, yeah. We're now over 60 basically all the time, with some drops with effects very close to the camera. Yeah, I needed to restart the game. So I'm glad I did. But yeah. Okay, just do 1080p maximum, use dynamic resolution if you want. If you want to avoid any drops below 60 when effects show up. But yeah, on this one you can basically max it out, excepting the texture resolution. Make sure to keep textures on high. We only have 4 gigs of VRAM, people. Only 4 gigs. I'm surprised that 4 gigabytes now is becoming the norm. Not too long ago 2 gigabytes was a lot of memory. Now 2 gigabytes is basically nothing. Alright. Great. Yeah, the 1070 is faster than the 1650 Super, but it doesn't have the same hardware capability for Vulkan and DX12, so that's a disadvantage the 1070 will have. Still, it should be faster than the 1650 Super, just due to the raw horsepower difference. But when it's Vulkan instead of DX11, the difference is a little smaller. Okay. Let's try low settings now, because why not? We don't have a lot to lose. Let's see if we get 144, because I don't want to restart the game at the moment. 1080p low. And we're going to load back the checkpoint. ¿Cómo funcionaría una RX 580? Le podrías poner en alto y tenerlo arriba de 60, o ponerlo en ultra y tenerlo a 60, básicamente. Así que ponerlo en ultra nomás a la 580. Alright, so on low settings 1080p, remember that we are CPU bound when targeting 144 FPS. We are getting 100 FPS. We seem to be CPU bound here. The CPU is at 90 to 100%. So yeah, we're CPU bound. We don't have enough CPU to get more frames. So yeah. I mean, probably 900p or 720p makes more sense in this case. Let me try very quickly 720. Let's see if by just forcing it through we can get more frames. In this case I don't think it will, due to the CPU. Well, let's do it. Okay, never mind, 144. We're still CPU bound. Yeah, now the CPU is completely maxed out at 100%. Am I going to die? Okay. Yeah, definitely possible if you want 144, but you need a faster CPU and 720p resolution. So yeah, make sure to have an i5, a Ryzen 5, something like that, if you're trying to get 144. Gotcha. Okay. Let's now try 1440p. And I'll restart the game, of course. Considering what I got on the 570, it's probably going to work well on medium. Let's try high first. I need to lower textures for that. So textures on medium for 1440p. High settings, no chromatic aberration, thanks. And I'll change the status to 1440p. 1440p high. I'll show you the game very quickly. And okay, 60 frames per second. What the hell? Okay. Let's restart the game now. It's going to probably be 65 with drops into the 50s when many effects show up. But hey, we'll find out in a moment. En las 570 rebobina el principio del stream. Okay, I'm getting no image. Never mind. It's back. Yeah, I mean, the CPU in this case gets maxed out when I'm trying to be like at 70, 80 frames. If I go past 100 frames per second, it goes to 100% all the time. It stays between 70 and 100 when targeting over 60. When I'm stuck at 60 frames, it's much easier for the CPU, of course. Less frames, less CPU usage. So yeah, as long as you're not targeting 140 frames, a modern quad-core CPU is fine, it seems. So yeah. Though I would sell my 1650 Super at 1070 just to play Skyrim, but my brain yells at me not to. What? Well, you get more memory at least, you get 8 gigabytes. If you're using mods on Skyrim with big textures, it can make a difference. I'm not sure how much memory you can use, but it can be pretty massive. So now I'm going to try 1440p high. On the 570 to get 60s at 1440p was like I needed medium settings and dynamic resolution, as far as I remember. Let's see how it does at 1440p high. Gotcha. Okay, we're getting 62, 61, and when I'm fighting enemies, I'm getting drops into the upper 50s. So yeah, basically, if you want 60s at 1440p, use dynamic resolution and high settings, or try medium. Medium is probably going to be best for this one. Let's put this on medium. Luckily, I don't have to restart the game now. Okay, wonderful. So 1440p medium now. Okay, this makes much more sense. It's probably going to drop below 60 when I'm very close to the FX. But no big deal. Yeah, I think this makes much more sense. So yeah, you can do 1440p medium settings. I mean, the 570 could do it, this one could do it as well. Just make sure to lower textures to medium as well, because we only have 4 gigs of VRAM. Big a deal, big a deal. Ok. Ah, muchas gracias Facundo, me alegro que te sean de ayuda mis cosas. El objetivo es informar, sí. I prefer 1070 rather than 1660 Ti. Well, I have to pay attention. 1660 Ti because of the 2 extra gigs of VRAM. Well, it makes sense. I mean, as you can see, this game already is using more than 4 gigs on high settings. And if you're targeting something like, I don't know, 1440p or 4K, you need more than 4 gigs of VRAM very easily if you want to keep textures on medium or high. So I mean, depending on the use case, it makes sense to have more VRAM. That's usually what kills GPUs. I mean, the 750 Ti, I tried it on this game, due to the low VRAM, we only had 2 gigabytes. The game was unplayable, basically. I'll make a video about it in a few hours, so you can see it as quickly as possible. But yeah, I mean, on the lowest settings, 720p, we were getting 2.7 gigabytes of VRAM usage, 2.7 on the lowest settings. So the 2 gigabyte 750 Ti didn't stand a chance there. It was pretty sad, but hey, it happens. Luckily there's a 4 gigabyte 1050 Ti, so some people are happy, I guess. Anyways, I'm going to briefly try 4K because we did it on the 570. It was on low settings on the 570 at 35 FPS with some jumps into the with some jumps into the mid 40s. So we're going to put it on medium in this case, since I saw it a little bit faster than the 570. We're going to keep textures on low because we only have 4 gigs of VRAM again. So this is 4K medium. I'm going to try right now, just for the sake of it. I'm not going to restart the game again. Sorry about that. It is what it is. Probably later I'm going to restart it again, but not right now. So as you can see, low textures, medium settings, 4K resolution. Don't do this at home. This, you'll be able to see it. Okay, there you go. The frame rate counter is big enough. And we're getting, okay, mid 30s, just like the 570, but the 570 was on low settings. So yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting anything less. So don't expect anywhere close 60 frames, not even with dynamic resolution. I mean, you can see it right now. So yeah, it's very close to the 570, but it is faster. I was able to do the highest settings at 60 frames. The 570 can do it as well, but it's not, it's in the low 50s, upper 40s. So yeah, I'm going to show you a little bit more of 4K, then go back to 1080p on the best settings and keep playing the game a little bit, because I want to show you more of the game, because why not? Let's take advantage of having the game right now and showing you around. Okay, good. Yellow card. Boom, gotcha. No, you're not. How did you get it early? I got a review copy from Bethesda, so I was able to play it 2 days early. If it wasn't for that, really I wouldn't be able to be playing the game at the moment. They just got me a review copy, which I was very lucky to get it. I usually don't get review copies. Sometimes I do, but not from big publishers. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about it. Bong. Okay, I think I saw enough of 4K. I need some ammunition. Yeah, I mean, I don't like playing this at 30 frames, to be honest. It's not very smooth at all. So we'll do 1080p, ultra nightmare, textures on high, and let's keep it on the highest settings at the moment. I'm going to need to change a couple things, but it will be okay. This will be on... Oh, I need to change the size of the frame rate counter. There we go. And the status will be 1080p max, high textures. And we're going to play like this for a little more time and try to pass some levels and things. I probably need to restart the game now, but I'm trying to get to the next checkpoint, and there I will do the restart. But as you can see, 1080p, high motion blur. This is the amount of motion blur on screen. We're going to keep it on high, which is not very intrusive. On ultra nightmare is very noticeable, but high or medium is fine. Then textures on high, because on ultra nightmare, as you can see, we go over the VRAM limit. Beautiful. Everything maxed out here, ultra nightmare, whatever. No chromatic aberration, because why would you? No film grain, because it's very distracting. no dynamic resolution, and that should be it. And as you can see, in this tiny place we're getting 100 FPS, but when we are fighting many enemies at once, it can drop into the low 60s. So yeah, be aware of that. But yeah, please no motion blur on Doom games. Yeah, on Doom is very well done, the motion blur. I don't like when motion blur just makes the screen look like Vaseline. I mean, if you play Doom at 30 frames, the motion blur is a little bit too much, but at 60 it's very subtle, especially if you put it on the high amount instead of Ultra Nightmare amount. I want the sniper rifle mode. I know it's not a sniper rifle, but it's a single shot thing. As you can see, it's like a sniper rifle, but it's not. That's great for taking down the weaknesses of the special enemies. Now I got the grenade launcher. So from your shoulder, you're going to shoot some grenades. Beautiful, as you can see. And the grenade goes. The weak point of the Kako demon. I'm not sure why they tell me the weak points before fighting them, but that's fine. I'm not complaining. Yeah, despite them telling me, oh, there's no floor here. Oh well, the weakness, and he kills me. First death in the entire run. I'm so proud of myself. Okay, gotcha. Wasn't so hard. Is the 1650 SC good? I mean, if it's a 1650 non-super, then it's not. I don't think it's a good choice. The 1650 is much slower than the 1650 Super. I know that their names are similar, but for the price difference you're getting a very significant performance difference. So make sure to get the Super 1650, not the super clocked, the 1650 Super, because there's a 1650 and a 1650 Super. I know it's confusing, but they are very different cards. Make sure to get the Super variant. Oh, hello. I have no more ammo for the shotgun. Never mind. Estoy streamando con el i3 usando otra PC. Estoy usando otra PC para el stream. Así que esto es como correría de juegos si vos estuvieras jugando en tu casa tranquilo. Si no, hacer el stream es imposible. I was saying in Spanish, somebody asked me if the stream is done by the i3 itself or by a second PC. This is a second PC doing the stream. I have a separate computer with a capture card that is doing all the streaming work. And the i3 PC is just running the game and being recorded. So this is exactly how the game runs. So if you're playing on your house, this is a performance that you should be getting. Because again, the streaming is being done by a separate computer. If not, the streaming will be very difficult because the CPU wouldn't be able to keep up. So yeah, I just want to show you the real numbers, basically. Okay, got the weak point. Alright, gotcha again. ¿Qué opinas de las 5700 XT? Que si no fuera por el tema de los drivers que están reportando, me parece una gran placa precio-rendimiento. Está muy cerca de una 2070 Super en algunos juegos. Me parece una buena compra. Why is that trash PUBG uses so much CPU? Not sure. I mean, well, there's a lot of players. That's basically it. I mean, there's 100 people doing things at once. Usually that destroys CPUs. Oh, I'm so done for. Never mind. Gotcha. Porque estoy usando el codificador por hardware. Sí, bueno, con eso podría hacer el stream con el i3, pero perdería unos cuantos FPS. ya que estaríamos usando la GPU también. Así que no estoy usando... Oh yeah, it worked. Así que en ese caso no me convendría. O sea, estaría perdiendo rendimiento de todos modos si estoy usando un codificador por hardware en la misma PC. What is the good one? 1650 Super or 1066 GB? Well, it's not that easy to say. Let's see. The 1060 and the 1650 Super run very similar in general. The 1650 Super on Vulkan, DX12, things like that is slightly faster, depending on the game. But then the 1060 has more VRAM. So in some games, it can make a difference. You can use better textures. Personally, I don't like having only 4 GB of VRAM. But considering how Red Dead Redemption 2, for example, got like 5 to 10 FPS more, I'll get the 1650 Super or one of the AMD cards. Maybe the 590, 580, or one of those. The prices are not that high. They're usually very cheap in most regions. And again, you get a lot more memory. The 580 and the 590 have 8 GB variants. The 590 only has an 8 GB variant. So yeah, it's a pretty tough decision there between the 1060 and the 1650 Super, due to those new APIs by themselves and the VRAM dilemma. I'll just watch some of those video comparisons. I have some in my channel, so you decide for yourself. But you don't usually want to be limited by VRAM or limited by new APIs, so you get pros and cons on both cards, which is what makes it hard to choose in this case. 5600 XT versus 2060, 2060 Super or 2060 6 GB? Which one? I don't really remember how the 5600 XT runs. I saw very few videos on it, but the price was a little too high. I think the 2060 would be better, if I remember correctly, because the 5600 XT was a little too expensive, and it was competing with the 1660 Ti. Not sure, I have to check it. Whoa, why did I get distracted? Anyways, let's try it again. Yeah, I need to pay more attention. Oh yeah, those 6 GB are too tempting. Thanks for the ammunition. Gotcha. This game requires much more focus than the previous Doom so far. I mean, I'm not even playing on Nightmare, I'm playing on Hurt Me Plenty. This is embarrassing. Yeah, you need to be focused on this one. Thank you very much. Alright. Gotcha. Okay. I'll read chat in a second. Sorry about that, guys. I'm trying not to die. You again. Oh my god. I'm going to die again, right? Please no. Yep. Okay, I need to use grenades more often. ¿Crees que la Xbox llegue a ser tan potente con los mejores PCs actuales? Y al principio de una generación de consolas suele ser así. Así que sí, probablemente. Veremos el precio también, ¿no? Somebody asked me in Spanish if I think that the new Xbox will be faster than most PCs. And I mean, it's probably going to be very fast. It usually happens when new consoles release. At first they are faster than most PCs, considering the price. I'm not saying that they're faster than a 2080 Ti, but in general, they're faster than most PCs for less money. But then the PC market just gets very close and gets a new GPU that keeps up, basically. Who knows? At the moment, I would say it's very powerful, considering the specs. But we don't know. But we don't know yet. We don't even know the price, I think. But yeah, if history rewrites itself, It's probably going to be faster first, then it's going to be similar when new cards release. Oh yeah. Oh, I almost died. Yeah, this is the part where I have to be focused, but I keep dying like an idiot. Love your work, I always wish for your well-being. Well, thank you. Same to you, man. My well-being will be once I beat this damn part. Let me see, I need to... Okay, I have the grenade launcher. I have the sniper rifle mode. Oh, I'm not using any grenades. Okay. Let's get some ammo first. Nice. Headshot. You. This is the one that's been killing me all the time. Okay. No more ammunition. I don't have any more to get. Okay. One shot, one kill. A grenade. Finally use grenades in a Doom game. Some health, please. Thank you very much. Finally I can get some ammunition. Let's insta-kill Cacodemon, please. Okay. Another grenade. Please. Oh man, I'm sweating. This is ridiculous. Okay, let's get the weak point. Finally, the weak point. Gotcha too. Oh man, no more ammunition. Great. Whoa, this is intense. Okay, I think I got it. Or did I? Hello? Alright. I think I got the hard demons already. Okay. Woo. Yeah, that was intense. I liked it. Whoa. Gotcha. What do you think of the optimization? It was what I mean, if you have a card that has good bulk support, I mean the 16 series NVIDIA cards, the 500 series AMD cards like a 570, 580, maybe a 470 or 480, the optimization is great. You can play just fine. Then if you have something like, I don't know, something from the Pascal series or older, it's a little bit harder to get the good numbers. For example, if you have a 1050 Ti, you need to do 1080p low settings and dynamic resolution to be always over 60, or most of the time. And then if you have less than 4 gigs of VRAM, less than 3 gigs of VRAM, the game is not going to be playable, at least for what I tried so far. So yeah, it has its pros and cons. If you have a modern system, it's probably going to be modern, I mean newer. It doesn't have to be high-end. It's going to perform fine. But if you have an older generation GPU, it's going to be pretty tough. So it's for the new stuff, it runs well. For the old stuff, not so much. I think that's a fair statement. It runs worse than the 2016 version, but that was to be expected. Do you think a 1066X is enough to play Detroit Become Human? Whoa, Jesus! I need to pay attention. To play Detroit Become Human, ultra settings 1080p. It's not a CPU-based game. What are you talking about? It uses a lot of GPU. That's one of the most GPU-bound games I know. It also happens to use a lot of CPU, but it doesn't mean that it's a CPU-based game. I mean, this is a very GPU-bound. I don't think it's enough for ultra settings. I'll probably try to go for on the 1060 Detroit, probably medium settings, medium to high settings for over 30 frames per second. But yeah, I mean, you have a lot of VRAM there, which is very helpful in that game, but it's not a CPU based game, it's more GPU bound. It also uses a lot of CPU. If you have less than 6 cores, it's going to be tougher. But it's not CPU based, it just requires many cores. So if you have Ryzen, you're already fine. The thing is, if you have a quad-core CPU or something like that. Try 2 GB GPU. I don't have it at the moment. I have it on the PC that's doing this live stream has a 2 GB GPU, which is the 750 Ti. I already tried it at 720p. It was unplayable. Then I dropped the resolution to 360p. Still was over 2 GB of VRAM usage. I even restarted the game, deleted the drivers, reinstalled them, and it wasn't working. I mean, it was below 30 all the time. In a couple hours I'll be posting a video. It's very quick to do. So you see how the 2 GB GPU is doing. Unfortunately, it's only the 750 Ti. I don't have a 1052 gigs to test it out. But already in the system requirements, they are stating 3 GB of VRAM as a minimum. You'll see at 1060 3 gigs as a minimum. So yeah, there's fast travel. Okay. Where to? Oh, show fast travel. Okay, you can fast travel to previous parts of the game. Okay, nice, interesting. So you can go back and replay the levels. Good. Let me skip this very quickly. Hold and continue. Yeah, 1600 will be fine. Don't worry. Okay, now, oh, the Doom Guy's man cave. This is my spaceship. Welcome to the room tour 80.0. So cool. Okay, what now? Oh, nice. The flame belch. Oh, this is the flamethrower from the shoulder. ¿Que puedo correr un i3 6100? Sí, debería. No sé si va a llegar a mantener 60, pero debería funcionar. Tendría que buscar un procesador de esos, ya no los tengo más, pero podría pedir prestado. Pero no, tendría que probar. Seguramente van a aparecer videos en YouTube. Hay mucha gente con Pentiums que lo va a probar probablemente. Por ahora no te puedo dar una respuesta, pero debería. No usa mucho procesador. Okay, what do I want? What do I want to level up? As long as you're max health, all health pickups contribute to blood punch. No thanks. Flame belch takes less time to cool down. Yeah, I want that. Yeah, I want it to cool down less time. Yeah, the 760 is screwed. Yeah, with only 2 GB, it's very difficult. If that changes, of course, guys, I'll make a video talking about that and how it changed. But right now, 2 GB on this game is not enough. I want to warn you about this because if you buy the game and it doesn't work correctly, I'll feel ashamed. And I need to let you know before you purchase something. So far I didn't have any crashes whatsoever. One thing that is very important, you need to restart the game after restart the game after you change resolution. Sometimes it will mean a 5 FPS difference, sometimes it's a 2 FPS difference. But if you change the resolution or the settings a lot, try to restart the game. It helped me sometimes it didn't, but most of the time it helped. So make sure to try that. Okay, this part seems to run better than the city area at the moment. Yeah, basically, yeah. We'll see with more enemies on screen, but some parts of the city were into the 60s, 70s. This is into the upper 70s, lower 80s, sometimes hitting 100. So yeah, I think I'll need to test the game into the city area to have reliable numbers. Luckily it's one of the first areas of the game, so I'll be able to test it very quickly. But yeah, and there's fast travel as well, so I can go back to that area without much of an issue. But yeah. ¿Qué gráficos tiene la D50 Ti? Bueno, la D50 Ti es 1080p bajo con resolución dinámica, 900p medio si quieres resolución dinámica y 720p alto. I was saying in Spanish, somebody asked about the 1050 Ti. The settings were 1080p low with dynamic resolution to avoid drops into the upper 40s, low 50s. Then 900p medium settings. If you want, use dynamic resolution to avoid drops into the mid 50s when in gunfights, which is basically all the game. And then 720p high settings. And again, if you want to use dynamic resolution to smooth things out, it works very well. Because the effects on this game, usually when they show up, you get a massive drop in performance. Now using the blood punch, which will make a huge shockwave. That usually destroys performance when you do it right away. Let's see here, we're at 160. When I do it, we drop into the 70s and go back into 160. So as you can see, when effects show up, it can be very punishing. That's why I recommend dynamic resolution in general. But if you have enough room to spare, you don't need to enable it. In this case, we didn't drop below 60 when using that effect. So we were okay. Let's see the blood punch here. Yeah, there we dropped like 20 frames per second. Luckily it's just like for a brief moment. It's not game breaking or anything. Because in this case, again, we got a lot of frames to spare. There we dropped from 100 to 70. So yeah, things to keep in mind. It's noticeable, but it's not unplayable. Okay, let's get this one, or gain a speed boost after performing a glory kill. Yeah, this one. Thank you very much. Ok. Sí, se siente mejor al controlar que el anterior, por lejos. Es más fluido. No sé cómo explicarlo exactamente, pero se siente más fluido los controles. I was saying in Spanish, somebody asked me if the game was being controlled better, because he saw that the animation was better. And yeah, I feel like the game controls better so far. I feel that because I'm a better shot in this game than the previous one. I get to shoot the enemy with more accuracy. At least that's what I'm seeing. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But the game feels better to control. And now I got a rune that allows me to, after I get a glory kill, to get a speed boost. That's why I'm running so quickly. Let's get the auto shotgun. Gotcha. Gotcha, Hell Knight. But yeah, it feels better to control so far. Do I need to update NVIDIA drivers? Run Doom Eternal. I'm using the beta drivers for the game ready drivers of this game. When the game releases, you're probably going to get the latest drivers already. But yeah, I recommend you update the drivers. The developers sent me with the review code the beta drivers for Doom Eternal for AMD and NVIDIA. I'm using 442.61. So yeah, it's probably recommended that you do it. I did it because they told me on an email, but yeah, I just wanted the best performance possible. Not again, you cacodemon. I need ammo. Thank you. Going to die. Okay, gotcha. I'm so dead. Oh, never mind. That was close. Two for one. I forgot the button to get the... what's the name of this? The flame launcher. Was it control? No. Oh, it's R. R. Gotcha. Remember always to hit the weak points before killing them. Big brain. Ok. Con un FX no tengo idea, porque esos procesadores hace tiempo que no los miro. Yo supongo que debería ser peor, pero no tengo ni la menor idea, la verdad. Let's see, micro missiles or better sticky bombs. Let's keep it like it is already. Whatever. Bigger boom. And as you can see, I have no ammunition. That's why I have a chainsaw. Now I magically got ammunition. Is there any way to force less than 2 gigs of VRAM usage? So far, I didn't find a way yet. What the? I didn't find a way yet. I even tried lowering the resolution to 360p, and it was still over 2 gigabytes. Let me show you in the games menu. As you can see, with the settings I have right now, we're at 4,206 gigabytes. If I selected 720p and I lower textures to the minimum, I'm already at 3 gigabytes. Even if I lower everything to the minimum, we're at 2.7 gigabytes. And if I lower the resolution scale to 50% at 720p, I'm still at 2.5. So I don't know. At the moment, let's discard the changes. We're still on 1080p, as you can see. So yeah, as you can see in the menu, we're very far away from 2 gigs of VRAM. Very far away. At least half a gigabyte. And Vulkan doesn't like to compensate for the lack of VRAM using system RAM like DirectX 11. So at the moment, I didn't find a way. Of course, if I find a way, again, I'll let you know in a video or in a pinned comment or something, because I know a lot of you guys have 2 gig GPUs. I mean, I started the channel with a 2 gig GPU, so there you go. But yeah. Tengo un i7 3770, disculpen. 570. Sí, podés jugarlo más bien en alto. O sea, ponerlo en alto y te va a andar arriba de 60 sin problemas, flaco Batman. For the people that are curious of what I said in Spanish. Okay, now this is the dash. What I was saying in Spanish was someone asked me if an i7 3770 plus a 570 was able to run the game. Yes, if you have 8 gigs of system RAM on dual channel, you can run it on high settings at 60 frames per second. You'll be fine. The 570 can manage it just fine. The 3770 can also manage it just fine. I mean, I have a quad-core CPU here, and it's doing the job. And also, as you could see now, I got a dash, the dashing ability. Pretty good. That'll change things, that's for sure. Really nice pronunciation. I try, but I mess it up many times. Thank you, but I need to improve still. I still have a long road ahead. Oh, hello. He scared me, Jesus. Oh, the door is closed. Okay. With the dashing now, it makes it easier to move, at least. Yeah, gotcha. You're done for. And the music is amazing, guys. I mean, if you're playing this game, use headphones, get the music cranked up. Amazing. I don't have enough fuel for that. Oh, Jesus. Die. I'll try to read chat in a second, because this is getting a little too fast. Oh, hello. Free health. Come on. Oh, insufficient fuel. Great. Okay, I can get now some shotgun ammo. Okay, that wasn't enough. Perfect. I don't think mid-range PCs will be able to go toe-to-toe. Now we need at least a 2070 Super. Well, yeah, maybe. We'll see once it releases, but consider this. Once the PS5 releases and all that, a 2070 Super is like, what, a year, 2 years old, maybe, a year and a half. We can have a jump in performance in not, I mean, for not a lot of money in the future, maybe. It doesn't need to be, I mean, right now, it's like when the PS4 released. We didn't have something to match it on the 50 series cards. We had a 650, I think. Then the 750 Ti releases. We were able to get close to that number on a budget PC. Of course, then the 750 Ti got tossed behind. But at the point that the PS4 was in its mid-term, in the middle of the generation, we already had a 1050 Ti and we were getting better numbers in general. Now that's not the case, but at the moment it was the case. So probably NVIDIA and AMD are going to get better cards out for better prices. At the time the PS5 is mainstream and the PS4 is not relevant. And also keep something in mind. As far as I know, they're probably going to target more than 1080p. So you don't need PS5 performance, I guess. They're probably going to target 1440p or 1800p. So if they're targeting 1080p, it's probably going to last much longer without a card like that 2070 Super on the mainstream. I mean, just be patient. You don't need to compare them at the start of the generation. Just wait a little bit once developers adjust to the new hardware. And also NVIDIA and AMD need to compete with the consoles. NVIDIA will want to sell more GPUs, so they have to get something better than the consoles if they want to compete. So yeah, enough talking about that. I already said my opinion. But yeah. Oh, thanks, señor Castro. Thanks. Sí. Me imaginé que te ibas a dar cuenta. We need spec to get better performance than PS5. Well, we're going to get there eventually. Okay, I cannot run in this or jump here. That's wonderful. Okay, I knew that was coming. Come on. It always happens, those jump scares. Hello. Come on. Ha! Chainsaw! Gotcha! Not so tough now. I'm going to get shot in a moment. Yeah, I know, map. Do you have an SSD? Oh, you're asking somebody else. Well, in this case, I am using an SSD, but only to load the game faster. I'm not using the SSD to get better performance. That's not the case, at least in this game. I'm using it because I have to restart the game multiple times and I want to get back in as soon as possible. But if you have a hard drive, this game will be fine. Remember, PS4, Xbox One have hard drives, so no worries. It will only affect the loading times. So yeah, if you can wait, perfect. Okay. Ha, gotcha. Okay, some platforming now, no, not a lot of action, as you can see. Yeah, you have to time the jumps, the double jump with the double dash, just like you saw on previous. So yeah, the platforming is pretty good so far. I mean, it's working as expected, it's not fantastic, but it's doing its job, at the very least. There you are. Gotcha. Alright, that was easy. 8 gigabytes. I have 16 gigabytes in this case, but if you have 8 gigabytes on dual channel in this game, it will be fine. It's using between 6 and 7 gigabytes. Let me check that very quickly. Now that you're talking about that, let me open the task manager. Yeah, as you can see, 6.1. I'm going to get back into the game. As you can see here, if I go back up there, yeah, 6.1. I'm not sure if you can see that. It's using 6.1 gigabytes out of 16. So if you have 8 gigabytes on dual channel, nothing to worry about. The game is using 6 to 7 gigabytes so far. Oh man, that weak point. There you go. So yeah, if you have 8 gigabytes, as long as it's dual channel, you'll be okay. Gotcha. Turning everything on fire. Okay, I think I'm done with this area and I'll finish the live stream. I don't have much else to show on performance and I have to record the videos about this game. Tomorrow I'll be testing Resident Evil 3 demo, Resident Evil 3 remake demo that is coming to Steam. I'm very excited for that one. I really like Resident Evil 2 remake, so the third one is going to be interesting. Oh no, not again. So yeah. No, las memorias de DDr4 no deberían hacer una enorme diferencia. Sigue siendo RAM. Yo, por lo menos yo no noté una diferencia. Mientras esté en Dual Channel, todo bien. Vincent Substrolling, read what he says. What? What are you talking about? Jesus. What am I not reading? Better said. Why am I not paying attention? Anyways, I'm done. This was the live stream, guys. So yeah, Doom Eternal, releasing on Friday. Thanks to Bethesda and ZeniMax for sending the review copy 2 days early. You'll be able to play it soon. At the moment, I can say it runs very good on 570, 580, 590, 16 series cards. The 20 series cards, more than enough. I mean, if it runs maxed out on this card with high textures on a 1650 Super at over 60 in general. Now we're dropping below 60 a little bit. I mean, you'll be okay. You don't have to worry about much. This is supposed to be a mid to low end card. So yeah. I'm going to be using more GPUs in a moment. I'm going to record now the 750 Ti to show you that 2 gigabytes unfortunately on this game is not enough. And then I'm going to sleep. I'm going to post more videos by scheduling them so you can see them. And then tomorrow I'll see you again with the free offer on Watch Dogs 1. It's going to be free on the Epic Games Store and on the Resident Evil 3 remake livestream on the demo. But yeah, that was about it. Thank you so much for watching this live stream and staying with me on this one. And I'll see you next time. Probably I'm still alive. And take care, guys. Wash your hands. Stay out of trouble. And I hope everything goes alright. Bye, guys. Bye-bye. I'm dead. Bye.